So you are getting a divorce. Sorry, sucks. Like really sucks. People have no idea how much it sucks. I could go on and on. That's reality. So what are you going to do with the home? Are you going to get the home? Are you going to stay in the home? There's so many things that I think that when you're getting a divorce, like the home, the family homestead is one of the really hard things to figure out. I'm just going to give you a couple things to think about because it's a really hard transition, but maybe just to trigger some thoughts. Do you think you want the home? Can you afford it? One thing to think about when you're getting a divorce is I think that finances are kind of quartered. You need double of everything on half the income. So can you afford not even the mortgage, but like the maintenance, the lawn mowing, the snow blowing, keeping everything picked up, the utility bill. Like really think long and hard about how much is it going to cost me if I get to keep the house. Second thing to think about is, can you emotionally detach from the home? Like you had all these family memories there. Maybe your kids were young. And some people don't want to sell because like it's kind of like the piece of their family they want to hang on to, which I totally get. And that's kind of why I don't want to sell my cottage, because that's what that is for me. Another thing to think about when you're getting divorced and whether you think about you want the house or not is maybe you're going to get the home as like a big piece of, the splitting of assets. That's a really hard asset. So like whatever happens in the next couple of years, like it's going to be a little bit more work to pull money out of it, unless you have the ability to get a HELOC and things like that. But maybe you do want that. Like, again, like that's why I wanted the cottage, because I wanted that. So I got a lot of my investments were in a really hard asset. Another thing to think about is maybe it's best just to move on. Like maybe like fresh start. Like maybe you did or didn't want the divorce. Either way, really. Maybe you just want a fresh start. So maybe you do want a new home. And then you have to think about how far do you want to move out of your community, out of your neighborhood, out of the state. I'm out of here. Whatever. Anyways, that's another thing to think about. And here's another thing to think about is your job. So like me, I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I didn't have like my own W-2, stuff like that. And so if I was going to get a different house when we moved, I would have had to just like pretty much put full cash down, take like that asset, sell it, put it in a house, because I like Jennifer always do things the Jennifer way. And so, I'm like, I should have, some people would say, I went and got a CPA job, did accounting. I would own a house right now because I could have got a loan. But because I'm more entrepreneurial, it makes it more difficult. So I haven't been able to get a loan because I haven't had the same thing for 2 years yet, which next year. But it's not something I even thought about. So something really to consider, like, do you have a full-time job now? If you don't, talk to a lender. Like, what's it going to look like next year? Will I be able to get a home? Another thing to think about is if you're keeping the home, you got to be willing to keep it up. Like I heard this thing that said when people get a divorce, the house gets a divorce. It means it doesn't get taken care of as well. So it's going to be one of your big assets. You got to take care of it. You got to keep the landscaping up. You got to keep utilities up. Obviously, I mean, some things say I didn't mean utilities. I meant like maintenance. Got to keep maintenance up. Because if it's one of your big assets, you don't want it to decline in value because you didn't take care of it. Anyways, like I said, when you're getting a divorce, and I'm really sorry because I do know, but it's something, it really puts some thought behind the home. What's it going to look like for you in a few years? Can you afford it? Do you want to afford it? Do you want to move on? If you want to keep it and you want to stay, understand that you need to take care of it.